Hi guys, Mitch King with Trade Stocks America with the Tuesday morning, December 7th, 2010 daily stock report. Here's the Dow 30. Not much change today, slightly on the negative, which occurred in that last 30 minutes. The volumes really dropped off today, even more so than Friday, and it feels like we're kind of getting in this holiday mode where people are doing other things. At least that's how the trading action appeared to be today. Tech stocks were a little more positive, made a slightly higher gain on the index there, which is what you're looking at. S&P 500 looks like the same as the Dow, hardly any change, just slightly negative. But the small caps, which shows here on the Russell 2000, just kept steadily moving up 0.6%. This is the kind of pattern we want to see. Russell 2000 usually is a little stronger than the other indexes, so that's resuming back into that pattern. Here's that volatility index, dropped back down to 18. And remember, we talked about this between $22.50 to $23 last week or so. So this is an inverse relationship with the market indexes. When this goes down, that means volatility is dropping and the markets go up. Let's take a little wider view of that, and you can see back in May we had it quite high in the above 44, and here we are at 18. Let's take a look at another chart that I follow. Here's sort of a close-up of the T2108. The percentage of stocks above the 40-day moving average went down to 41%, as you can see this right in here last week. And here the last 2 days we're at that 62 to 63% number of stocks that are above that 40-day moving average. A little wider view of this, and this is worth looking at on times where you think there's extremes in the market. It's not so much a predictive indicator, but it is definitely worth looking at. Here's AZO, AutoZone, down 1.25%. No problem yet. Still on an uptrend. Notice another auto parts store chain doing very well. Still on a nice uptrend similar to AZO. We don't have this one, but we follow that. Getting back to the stocks on our stock list, here's CMG, Chipotle Mexican, up 2.2% today. Expect that to recover and move up to higher highs here in the next week or two. VIT, Advanced Info Software, not quite as confident on this one. Feels like this will pull down to that $37, maybe $36. You might consider reducing that one on VIT. Netflix rebounding, up 4.3%. Eventually looking for a higher high than what we saw here in the last week. Here's Hanson Natural Beverages. Just consolidating, going sideways to flat. This one will probably go flat and start turning up here. And usually this consolidation process that could last a couple weeks. Kind of a slower mover. SanDisk has been on a nice run here from $38 entry price, and now we hit almost $49 on Friday, and then today $47.72 at the close. So you might consider reducing some of your long position on SanDisk here. Apple is trying to make a new high. Looks like it'll break through that here this week. A higher high is what we're looking for than these other two. Joy Global broke through to a new high. This is the farm and construction machinery manufacturer, so resuming its nice steady uptrend. Here's AGCO, another competitor to Joy Global, just flat. Doesn't feel very strong here. Here's DHI, DR Horton's, moved up some more after we closed that out of the stock table, and it looks like we got a little more upside on this one. But my guess is that the housing stocks will pull back as they have been, and they've given a lot of good trade ideas on these, on swing and intermediate trades. So I'd be watching for a top on this to either sell your long position or potentially we'll be looking at this for a potential short swing. Here's TSTC starting to move up nicely, up 4% today. Like to see this in the mid to high 12s, maybe $13. And AGU steadily moving up, kind of resuming that same type of pattern that we saw back in here in September. Just real steadily moving up. Like to see some higher highs, take a pretty decent correction here in the first half of November. And here's a little longer term picture on this stock, about a year. So you guys know the routine. You take care, put the odds in your favor. Love to see some of you guys in the trading room, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.